Hey folks, Taco here. Ooh, TacoBonsai. This is hopefully going to be the fastest repotting I've ever done. This is a nursery stock, wonderful pomegranate. It says it somewhere on here. There we go, on the reverse camera. I got this last year, and it is time for it to be. Just tightening it up. It is time for it to be repotted because now it's got gnats in this very, very organic soil. I will do a real quick run through on some other plants that have already perished this year. Some of them which are surprising. This was, I believe, Willow Fusion Project. It had fused. I mean, this is not wrapped up anymore. It's fused. It was getting some really good movement. It was a really cool tree, and because I wasn't around, it dried up and died. Another one is a banyan, Ficus bengalensis. Awesome. Oops, there's a tree in there. Awesome radial roots had started. It was even starting to grow in that little pot it was in, and I think it died because of scale. I didn't get to it in time. Another one, this one's not too surprising. I really took a risk on this, and I wasn't there to take care of it. That was the cherry of some sort. I'm trying to think now. I can't think. Some sort of cherry. Brush cherry, that's the one. All right, so diving into it. This one is so heavy now. It's a big, big old pot that's trying to warp my stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to first pull it out. Ooh. By giving some squeezes and see how much of it actually comes out. Ooh. I can feel it trying not to come out of here. Ooh. All right. So it looks like I've got some decent roots on here. Oh my gosh, this thing's so heavy. I don't know how well you can see that. Hopefully pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just start tearing away at some of this soil. See where my root base is. I'm going to get messy real, real fast. Ooh. I didn't think it was right at the soil level there, or top of the soil level, I should say. But, you know, you never know. So still yet to find where the biggest mass of roots reach the trunk. I've got a big root on the back here facing me. Let's see if I can get that to spin in. There's a big root right here, which you probably can't see yet. Let's get that uncovered a little bit. Yeah. You might be able to see this root now. It's starting to come out. But I don't know if that's my root base or if that's just a root. So I'm going to keep on working at this. That one's pretty nice, though. I don't mind it. This tree has had very little pruning. It looks like I'm training it to be a very small tree. I'm not. I'm just undecided as to which trunk I want to use, which probably won't be this one, but honestly, it could end up being that one. With where this tree's at, I've got all the options. I haven't cut anything off the top yet. I haven't cut anything off the bottom yet. I think this angle is quite severe, and most of the other angles there are quite severe. So as it is, I'm just leaving it as, you know, one tree. So this root that comes out on that side actually circles all the way around to here. So I think that's got to be dealt with. I'm going to get my fingers in here. I got no reservations about that, and I think it's going to give me a nice, quick, nice. This thing is completely surface rooted. I'm very pleased with that. So that might be the closest thing to a root base I've got. I don't really have a taproot under here that I can feel. Spraying soil everywhere. Yeah, kind of nice. I don't know if you can see, I can almost slide my whole hand under here, not hit a taproot. So, soil just doesn't want to quit. Nice roots, I'll say that. Just to start off, I'm going to go ahead and get this one cut off where it's not radial anymore. And that was a lot of root, but that's okay. And I'm just going to come down and do a little, forget all this stuff. It doesn't help me to waste time on it. They're all smaller. I'm not saying them are particularly amazing, but now they're much more condensed, you know, roots. Now I've got this one that also comes around that way. Not a problem. I can cut that off. Now it's time to deal with the bottom of this. I don't think I've ever, I mean, this is pretty good nursery soil this thing was in. I don't think I've ever gotten a tree out of soil so quick that wasn't cared for well. So I got to say, props to Meadows Farms. I believe that's where I got this. Now, you know what? I got this at Bluemont. Meadows Farms also does an amazing job, but they've they've both been really good. Neither of them are particularly like super focused on bonsai, although they carry some. But every plant I get from them is just so awesome, and some of them are actually like ready to go as far as some of the things that I want from a bonsai tree. So I think that is going to be my root base right up there. I've got ones that are circling around. I got all kinds of stuff, but I don't think anything underneath here is usable. I'm not sure how much of this is just soil on top, or I'm using a brush here. Twisted roots. Yeah, I think a lot of these roots are starting to come back under. We can see here, but this is coming from underneath up here. This one circles around. I'm going to go ahead and terminate this root that's sticking straight down here. I don't know if you can see it. You can. So that way I can pull that out. That, though it's got a lot of good roots on it, it's not good for this tree. I've also got more here. They're doing the same thing, but that freed up the soil under here so I get better visibility. So, all right. Again, I've got one over here, more than one at least. They're all just pointing straight down, so I'm going to take those off. See where that leaves me. Again, I'm really pleased with these roots. Oh, this one here, same thing. It circles all the way around, so I'm going to take it off here. It starts to turn, I believe. It gives me a little more. This one, you barely see in the back here. What do you see from this side? This one, again, doing the same thing. I'm going to take that off. And the one behind it as well. That one's circling around from the other side. So I'm going to take it off there. Jeez, all these roots are just all over the place. And I can see, now that one's out, got another one just above that that's just circling to high heaven. So this is going to be a stick in a pot with very few roots. Probably not the best time for me to be doing this because I'm about to leave for the farm. I am just a few minutes out from laundry being done, so I can pack up sheets and hit the road. Another one here, probably not easy to see, but it comes out and over. It's got a little one sticking off here. It's going to come off. Pull that out. Oh man, such a mess in here. Looked really good to begin with, but quite a mess. All right, in here I've got this one that's just, who knows what it's doing. It's going to come off. Some little ones in here. This one's just completely haphazard, so we're going to take that out. Let's see here. These are coming across from here. This one is a little too curvy at the end there, so I'm going to take that off again. And this one too. I don't want to have that curve there. I want to have it much closer to a radial direction. All this. So I'm going to brush this out. That may seem counterintuitive to brush off all these, or sorry, to cut off all these roots just because they're not pointing the right direction. That's true. Bonsai training is very tough on trees. Not all trees make it. It is healthier to leave roots on there, but for the long term, to have a tree this size, you can't have roots that are indirect. All your roots have to be very, very efficient. And straight roots are more efficient than roots that are curved. Roots that bifurcate are more efficient than roots that don't. All right, so you may not be able to see in here, but this isn't bad in here. I think this is all coming from front side. A little one here I gotta take off to keep it from being too crazy, but I think it's coming straight down, so we'll just take off the bottom. Getting there. This one is too long. I'm gonna take it off here. This one's coming back up, so I'm gonna take the part off that's coming up. And this one's coming up as well. And this whole thing's coming up. Take that off and cut this off so it will grow down. This one's good. I'm going to leave it. This side here, I've got this one that curves around and down. I'm going to cut it off right here. Hope that it bifurcates before it dies. Make sure I don't have any loose ones. These are coming from underneath. They're coming at funny angles, so they're going to come off. Two are kind of funny. We're going to give them a little bit of a trim. And so this one's sticking at a funny angle. This one is up, but it may just be trainable to come down. This one's coming up, so it's got to come off. And now I'm looking at what isn't terribly flat, but it's a lot flatter than what I started with. Now it gives me a kind of idea as to where the front of the tree should be, which I don't have to decide right now. Let me look at this real quick though. I think I might have some overlapping roots down in here. All right. After brushing, I have a root here, comes out and over. So I'm going to take that off. It's also not radial. Then this one, I like it, but it's too long. I think it's also too high, and for the stage of development the tree's at, it's too thick. So I am going to take it off. This one is good, but again, too long, so we're going to take it off, take off those upwards facing, and then this one will be redirected down. So not a whole lot of roots left here, but it'll be nice and radial. Now the top of this, I've already bounced off of everything, so it is broken off. That's fine, gives me a little more to play with. I'm going to get this into a pot. I didn't know exactly what size pot I'd be using, but I'm going to use this size. It's much larger than I probably need for where the roots are at. I'm going to put a base level of soil in here. Oof. Should be good. It's a little too low still. I'll give this a little bit more. Sorry, I'm moving everything around. I got everything everywhere. Nothing's in one place for me. I didn't think that through. In fact, I think I've got my soil scoop. Yep, it's under all this mess. So I'll give myself a little bit more of a base layer before I start filling this in. A lot more of a base layer, however you want to say it. Ooh. All right, now I'm ready to put it in here. I know where my bottom is. I'll tell you what, I want to keep the rest of this tree. I'm looking at it now with where my base is. This is my only option. Better to do it now, make sure it survives. So it's rough, but it's the right move. All right, I'll seal that up with some wood glue, but now much easier to take care of, much less, issues with water loss. I'll put this into some fresh off the shelf bonsai soil. Scoop this around. And there's not a whole lot in here as far as roots to go around, but I'm still going to make sure I do a little stake in and push as much under that as I can. All right, stick in a pot. Stick in a pot with green on it. Stick in a pot nonetheless. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. It was a very, very rapid pace. I'm sorry for that. Just about to run to the farm. I'm going to wire this through. I'm going to seal this up with some glue after I've wired it, so that way it's not covered in dirt when I fill it up. And we'll see how it does. It's going to be by itself for 3 days with no extra watering. So fingers crossed, everybody. If it makes it, it's going to be an awesome tree. If it doesn't make it, then I'll be out 30 US for a tree that I killed after a year. It's not yet borne fruit, and I have a dwarf Barbados. No, it's a dwarf flowering pomegranate as well. So it's not my only pomegranate, but I really like this one. I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's probably one of my better trees, and even now, after cutting that all off, it's still one of my better trees. So fingers crossed, everyone take care of yourselves. Have a good one.